Had to go shut off the AC unit because it's loud. I've still got a fan running in the background because it warmed up a little bit. But look what we got on the table. Whoopsh. Beretta 3032 Tomcat. If I could show you, I would. Where is it? Wait for it. So close, guys. There it is. There it is. Look at that. Made in USA. Yep, we're going to review it. No one wanted this review. I don't blame them. Got the 92 FS on the table because they kind of look alike and because it's a Beretta. Yeah, obviously there was probably, again, no calling for another one of these reviews, just like the CZ52, but we're going to do it anyway because it's a cool gun and I like it. Well, I kind of like it. We'll get into that. There's definitely some things I don't like about it. Let's get into a little bit of the history. Manufactured in 1996. Now the other designs, the Jetfire, they had been around before that. This came out just from the success of those, but made in 1996, still currently being made. There is the Enox model, and then for a short period of time there was the titanium model, which I've heard are very rare. I don't know about that, but I've never seen one, so we'll say that's a thing. We'll just kind of get into it. It is in 32 ACP. A lot of people have a problem with the 32 ACP, and I guess I do to some extent, but we're going to call it like I see it, which is that a lot of people who say that the 32 ACP is underpowered still carry a 380. And, you know, I actually wrote down some information here, and here's probably why people think that the 380 is better. Hornady, this is directly from Hornady's website, really quick, we'll just go through this. 32 ACP, they load, let's see here, at 1,000 feet per second with 133 foot-pounds of energy out of a 2-inch barrel. And that's pretty accurate. I mean, that's about what we've got here. I think it's, what, 2.4-inch barrel? So pretty close. And now you look at the 380 ACP, 1,000 feet per second, 200 foot-pounds of energy, and here comes the bullshit. They're testing out of a 4-inch barrel. Yeah, gain some velocity. There's no reason to do that. The Ruger LCP has a 2 3/4-inch barrel. So as usual, Hornady modifying data to suit their needs. Wow, that's never been done before by a company, right? So yeah, the 32 ACP, it's kind of the smallest of the mouse cartridges that is still an effective cartridge. But a lot of people still have a problem with it, and that's okay. We're more here to talk about the Tomcat and kind of where it fits in the grand scheme of things. And that, you know, I'm having a hard time placing my finger on it. It's a heavy gun. Weighs 14 ounces. That is right, 14 ounces. The Springfield Armory Hellcat weighs 18 ounces, which I actually have here on the table because it's one of my carry guns in a Outbags holster in the Calamity. Boom, look at that. There goes my notes. Look at that. 4 ounces more. 11 plus 1. Ton of firepower. 9mm. Yeah. I mean, 14 ounces for a mouse gun. That's substantial. Is what it is. It's 4.9 inches long. It's got a 2.4-inch barrel. 3.7 inches tall, and it is 1.1 inches wide. Holy crap! The Springfield is 0.9 inches wide. Or it's 1 inch wide. I'm sorry, the Springfield is 1 inch wide. It's actually a little bit thinner than the Tomcat. Yeah, so again, it is what it is. It's also an incredibly expensive gun. They're going to run you anywhere from $400 to $500, depending on which model, depending on what kind of shape it is. This one's brand new. It's manufactured in 2018, I believe. and I actually bought it brand new off the shelf. Go figure, it didn't sell, which is okay. I was the idiot who bought it. I'll talk about firepower really quick. Again, we already talked about it's in 32 ACP. Let's get the Hellcat out of here, even though I love it. 32 ACP. Yes, this gun does have rounds in it. No, there is not one currently in the chamber. You get a 7-round detachable box magazine. And of course, the feature of this critter is that it has a tip-up barrel. We will get into that later. So theoretically, you got 8 rounds of firepower, which is pretty good for a pocket pistol, actually. It's not horrific. I mean, I've seen a lot of guns with a lot less firepower. XDS, 45 ACP, basically rocking the same problem, you know, standard flush fit mag, 5 rounds plus 1, so 6 rounds of 45 ACP, that's not a lot. 8 rounds isn't the worst. In 32 ACP, I've seen worse. That's all there is to it. We'll kind of get into some of the features. It's got excellent ergonomics, and I mean excellent ergonomics. We got stickies over here. It fits very well in the hand. It's got a very nice beaver tail that kind of stops most people from getting that slide bite. I still get it because I have a very high grip angle. I'll roll in some footage up there, maybe over there. I'll roll in some footage of me shooting it. Shot really well. I did have some malfunctions. I think later on we discovered it's because whenever I shoot, my thumb kind of drifts up just a little bit and it sometimes slows down the slide. And the only reason I think that is because whenever I was shooting this, I had shaved some of the skin off my thumb. And so that could have definitely just been the fault of me. Single action, double action. Let's talk about that. The magazine release is in a stupid freaking location. I don't care, like, what you want to say. That's just bizarre. Either do the heel release or a traditional magazine release. Back here, I don't get it. The nice thing is I am left-handed and I have never activated it ever, no matter how hard I grip it. Could I? Maybe. I don't know. So maybe this isn't for you southpaws. And again, we'll talk about where this gun fits in a system. But two-position safety. Of course, the big feature is the tip-up barrel, which they claim is to allow shooters with a weaker grip to load it more easily. It doesn't require racking of the slide. We'll just get on that. That's a real bastard to push back down. Like, it really is. I let my mom use it. My mom is very strong. She's a completely normal human being, and she does not like trying to push that barrel back down. She, like me, found out it was actually easier, oh boy, here we go with this, to just cock the hammer and then rack the slide. I don't know. The tip-up barrel is definitely neat. It's definitely cool. Do I think it's the best? No, absolutely not. Got a pretty good double action pull. You're not supposed to dry fire these, but we'll do it anyway. Again, it is clear, so we're okay to dry fire it, but double action is a little jank. It really is. And then, of course, your single action pull breaks all the way back there. I mean, it is up against the frame. Is what it is. It's good while you're shooting it. I had pretty good luck with it. Pretty decent accuracy. I've actually got some of the targets here. This one's not so great. It is worth noting that for those of you who don't know, I'm still recovering. About 4 weeks ago now, I actually ended up with a condition. I ended up in the ER twice that resulted in some partial paralysis. So I'm still kind of recovering. That is at 7 yards, 15 mile an hour winds, and of course I put on there that I am recovering. So yeah, definitely not the best grouping. And I did have some malfunctions, I believe. Again, I'll show it up there, maybe. Moved back to 15 yards and threw down a pretty good grouping. Again, I know that doesn't look that great, and you're right, it's not a good grouping, but it's all within the size of my fist, so it's not horrific. Like, I've had worse groupings out of nicer guns. The biggest problem that I have, again, is manipulating that trigger. It breaks so far back that it's kind of... I have long fingers. I don't have large hands, but I do have long fingers. So literally, I'm touching right there. You can see my fingers touch together. If I try and pull that back, I have a big habit of dragging the gun away from where I'm trying to shoot. So I kind of struggle with the trigger on this guy. But in terms of accuracy, holy cow, it's pretty excellent from a 2.5-inch barrel. I'm not upset with that.
I've had that happen on every Beretta ever.
Let me look at my notes. Yeah, again, feels really good in the hand. Has a really nice beaver tail. Good mag release. It is very positive. I will say that much. Magazine empty or full, doesn't matter. Mag comes out very nice and free. Again, not so good for southpaws. What I found myself doing was literally just like dropping the gun into my right hand and hitting it. So, are you ever going to really need a mag change on a pocket pistol? Probably not. So that doesn't really bother me, but it's still a stupid ass location for the magazine release. Again, the 2-position safety. Yeah, that's what I did notice. It is, let me get my book out of the way. It is stiff. Not so easy to wipe off. I actually found myself, what's funny is, as a southpaw, I just found myself coming over like that, because you don't lose control of the gun. But look at that, holy. Putting it on safe, pretty nasty. Taking it off, not so bad. So, you live with that, I guess, if you plan on owning one of these. Again, mags come out nicely. The tip-up barrel is stiff. I said it's just pretty much useless. I said that the double action pull pretty much sucks. And I think I'll stand by that, shooting it more now. I shot it a lot. It just kind of sucked. I wasn't super happy with the double action pull. And then what I did notice, man, shooting it, whenever I took it out there for the inset video here that you guys are seeing, the biggest thing that I noticed, whenever I pulled double and then went into single, I had a hard time locating that trigger because there is so much take up at first. Whenever it resets, it leaves that trigger. Get rid of it. I know, loaded magazine, how dangerous, huh? Whatever. Whenever it first resets, you can see it leaves that trigger forward, and then there's all that take up, and it moves back to there. But it's like, you can see I can't shove it back to how far it was forward. But whenever you cock it, there is like all that take up. I don't know, it's a very bizarre feeling. I would, again, if I were to carry this, and I have, I carry it with safety on, cocked hammer, one in the chamber, and then just wipe the safety off. And I feel I just get a better trigger press at that point. That's just for me. Your experience may vary. That's totally okay. Ooh, another thing I noticed. It feels... We'll talk about Beretta. Beretta makes nice firearms. Whether you like them or not, Beretta has a long history of making nice firearms. And if you've ever heard the term in your life related to video games, I know this is completely weird, but bear with me. There's something called Nintendo polish. And basically it's not a super nice term. It means that Nintendo is very good at polishing a video game to where you don't necessarily notice the flaws. I will say Beretta is the Nintendo of the firearm world, right? Beretta does a very good job of polishing their firearms to where everything feels good. I can tell you, there's nothing more enjoyable, yes, it is loaded, than racking the slide on a 92, because it feels good. It's got a nice trigger, a little bit of mush, but the gun just feels good. It feels refined. It feels good in the hand. The Tomcat feels the exact same way. And that Beretta polish, that Nintendo polish, kind of hides some of its flaws. But I tell you, the more I shot it, and I shot about 150 rounds through it the other day, you kind of discover some of its flaws. It has some very sharp edges, which I think is bizarre for Beretta. Beretta's known for, like, nice fit and finish. The trigger here, especially the back of the trigger, is very sharp. The trigger guard has some sharpness on it, kind of snaggy. I don't know why they wouldn't have melted that a little bit better. The sight's, of course, nice low profile, snag free. But you do notice whenever you're shooting it, especially me, because I have to get so much of my pad through there, I feel all those sharp edges. I feel them on the trigger guard. And you do start to notice that, like, hey, this doesn't quite feel like a $400 to $500 gun. And that's okay. Again, we'll get there. Of course, this is a direct blowback, so there is no slide lock, which sucks. I want a slide lock. I know it doesn't really need one, but last round hold open is always nice, and it just doesn't have that, and that's okay. It's okay.
Tell you what, she shoots.
We will live with
both
it.
those grip panels come
Let's talk about reliability. Not great.
Ever.
I had some problems with it today. Or not today, when I shot it. Definitely had some issues. And I think we narrowed it down to the fact that my fat hand was slowing down on the slide. But you'll see in some footage here, again, right around there, you'll see in the footage that we had some weird last round issues. And that is, generally speaking, not the ammo. It's generally not me. Usually that's a magazine issue. It being stripped strange or coming out of the magazine being drug forward. A lot of the old cartridges used to get like a rim lock. And I doubt that's what's happening, but I just think the angle of approach there towards the feed ramp might be causing some issues. Again, it didn't happen once I rearranged my grips, but I did notice it kept happening specifically with this ammo, which we'll talk about that now. I was firing a lot of, can you see it? PMC bronze, hollow points. There she goes. PMC 32 ACP. Sorry, my neighbors are yelling. Alright, we're back. Neighbor's dog got in my yard, no biggie. 32 ACP, PMC bronze, there we go. Hollow points. Had some failures with it, quite a bit actually. Also shot some S&B, shot some Remington, shot some Hornady, no problems with any of that. But did have some problems with that Remington, some last round issues that I don't know if it was the ammo, don't know if it was my hand. It's a possibility. Worth noting, we did a lot of testing with the 32 ACP, and in just complete and utter honesty, I'm going to say probably don't carry hollow points. There's going to be a video coming out later called probably like 32 ACP Does It Suck? Keep an eye out for that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but basically we couldn't get these hollow points specifically to expand. I made the mistake of not using the Hornady on the water, and that's okay. I recovered some of these bullets. Let me walk to the other side here. And you can see, boom, no expansion on any of those hollow points. One ruptured jacket. I'll come back around. And what's funny is on two of these, yes, you are seeing, let me get my hand there, there you go. You're seeing the plastic from the water jug still stuck in the end of the hollow point, which is not good. This one did not, but again, no expansion. Kind of sucks. And then, of course, one jacket just completely exploded, which was kind of cool. Not really, but it happened. So, I don't know if I would carry the 32 ACP with hollow points. I would probably be more inclined to carry it with full metal jacket. You can get some pretty hot ammo. And on that note, you can't carry hot ammo in the Tomcat. Why? Because Beretta says not to. And if Beretta says don't do it, you should probably listen. Because the most famous issue with this gun is frame cracking right in there. And they say that there's no problem with the gun, it's problem with the shooter, which is code for we didn't make it strong enough. But if you break it, it's your fault. Yep, that's Beretta. love-hate relationship with those guys. I adore their firearms. I own a lot of them. Their customer service, sometimes notwithstanding. It's always the customer's fault. And good luck getting them to validate a warranty, even if this isn't your fault. If you use hot ammo above 130 foot-pounds of energy, it says you do risk frame breaking. And that's just kind of weird, because the 32 ACP is capable of some pretty good numbers. It's a very capable cartridge, is what I'm going to say. It's very on par with the 9x18. It's very on par with the 380, even though people don't like to admit it. Again, the 380 gets tested with a 4-inch barrel. That's how Hornady does things. They're selling a product, which we'll talk about that in a different review. But I was on Hornady's website. If I get motivated, I'll roll in some footage. But, they've really been pushing 9mm hard lately. Everyone's all about the 9mm, how it now meets 45 ACP specifications with these new loads. It's still incorrect, regardless of what you say. Let's just go with their standard. Everything on here that you're going to hear is critical defense, or everything that I looked up, there we go, was critical defense. 9mm, 1135 feet per second, 115 grain, 332 foot-pounds of energy out of a 4-inch barrel. Okay, most people aren't carrying with a 4-inch barrel, but, it's possible. 45 ACP, 1,000 feet per second, 185 grain, 411 foot-pounds of energy out of a 3-inch barrel. That's more common. Springfield XDS, companies like that make small pocket carry 45s. 3-inch barrel. But guess what? It still puts down hard more foot-pounds of energy than the 9mm. And the same thing applies to the 32 ACP versus the 380 argument. 32 ACP has great penetration capabilities as opposed to the 380. And a lot of companies are now making hotter cartridges for it. Specifically Buffalo Bore. I think Fiocchi has some pretty hot hollow points. Hornady's smart. They left it in the market, or they left it to still be chambered in this gun, because this is the one that's still currently being made. Not a whole lot of other 32 ACPs are being made. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. So, $400 for a not perfectly reliable gun, and yet why do I have it? Well, because it's freaking awesome. It still is a good gun. It shoots well, it's very accurate, it's enjoyable to shoot, there's no recoil impulse. If it was 100% reliable, which I think I can get this one to be, it would be a great purse gun for a woman. Again, there's no recoil impulse, it's very comfortable. Is it the best? Probably not. A lot of competitive options out there, we'll get into that. How about the Zastava M70? That's being imported again. I love that gun. I adore that firearm. Don't have one on the table because I'm an idiot. That's an awesome gun. The Kel-Tec P32. There you go. That's a gun everyone should buy, I think, if you could find it. Handles plus P ammunition. Incredibly sturdy little critter for Kel-Tec. I adore that gun. It's also only 3/4 of an inch wide. It's like half the width of this chunky fat thing. Ruger LCP, of course, if you're wanting to go up to 380. The LCP, the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, Springfield 911 Alpha, of course the Glock 42. Those are all competitive options, and all of them are cheaper except for the Glock 42. Go figure. I have the Springfield 911 Alpha, or 911 Alpha, whatever they call it. I really like that gun. I have it in 9mm instead of 380, and that's okay. I don't know. There's a lot of competitive options out there. Again, if you are getting this for a woman, you should definitely consider something like the Hellcat or the SIG P365. They're not that much bigger. They don't recoil a ton harder. If you are worried about like the capabilities of racking the slide, how about the Smith & Wesson M&P Easy? That's a phenomenal gun. Absolutely incredibly well made. Looks stupid with its upside down grip safety, but well made. And again, still cheaper than the Beretta Tomcat. I don't know. It's got a place in the world. I enjoy it. Definitely enjoy shooting. And it is, again, in a very capable cartridge, which I do enjoy. A lot of people, again, will dog the 32 ACP as just being absolutely useless, and it's not. It does. It has good penetration. You're seeing in the video it punched straight through 2-gallon jugs of water, even with hollow points, because they didn't freaking expand like they're supposed to. And it's just overall, I mean, the gun, because of its 14-ounce weight, carries well. Like, it really does carry well. It's very comfortable. There's a lot to enjoy about it. And then there's a lot of things to not like about it. But luckily that Beretta polish, man, goes a long ways. It really does. Let's see if there's anything that I missed that I kind of wanted to talk about. That's disappointing. I have the Springfield 911 Alpha on here. It is 12.6 ounces in the 380 form. It's still freaking lighter than this chunk of shit. Steel slide, aluminum alloy frame, and that alloy is probably the reason we get a lot of these cracks here, a lot of these stress fractures. Is that a concern? Absolutely. Have I ever seen it happen to one personally? No. I owned a Tomcat before this. This is my second one. And there's a reason I bought it again. Again, it's a joy to just throw in your pocket. You know that you've at least got something that's capable of putting 8 rounds on target. Very easy to acquire the sights, even though they are incredibly low profile, blah, blah, blah. You can pick them up. This is just kind of a point-and-shoot gun. But, I don't know. In terms of if you're buying this for your wife, or you're buying this for your girlfriend, or you're buying this because you have arthritis, or like me right now, again, have partial paralysis still, or like I have numbness still in my hands and arms and legs, and my finessed movements are not there. I'm still very jittery. I don't have a lot of refined movements. So, in that scenario, is this a good gun? Absolutely. Are there better guns at a more competitive price point? Yeah, I think there are now. Back in 1995, were there? No. The M1903. I just don't know if this still has a place in the world. It has a place in my heart, though. And that's what's cool about, the United States and our gun laws, is that you get to carry whatever you want. And because I enjoy this gun, I get to carry this gun. And I will. I'll absolutely carry that. Is it ever going to replace the Hellcat as my daily carry? Or is it going to replace the XDS as my daily carry? Probably not. Is it a great backup gun? Absolutely. There's a lot of good practical uses still for the Tomcat. Again, woman's gun, I've been debating on that. I would say there are better options, but this is not the worst option. Again, Beretta, very high quality. You get a lot of high quality components. A lot of that Beretta polish. It looks good. It's a very attractive gun in a sort of ugly way. Is it perfect though? No. I think the Easy from Smith is really good. The SIG, whatever their 380 is, excellent. Again, the Glock 42, all excellent choices. I don't think you can go wrong with anything that I listed earlier. It's basically what you can get your hands on, and one of these came up for sale, and I really like the pistol. I think it has a lot of flaws, and I wish Beretta would maybe take the chance to update this gun, because it's one that I would absolutely carry in a polyframe striker-fired pistol, or even still hammer-fired, of course. I don't mind that at all. I think it's awesome. I think it's balls accurate. And I think it's cool. Cool gun. So, I don't know. We'll just wrap this up here. In conclusion, a lot of rounds through this gun already. I've had some failures. I'm going to continue to test it. Is this the be-all end-all review on this? No, not really, but it gives you a good guiding point. Again, expensive, $400 to $500, limited to 8 rounds total, 7+1. She's fat 14 ounces. She's wide, 1.1 inches wide. But again, good ergonomics, good trigger when you can manipulate it, deadly accurate, and overall a great sporting pistol. So for everyday carry, not for me. Will I carry it? Yeah, just because I enjoy it. And you should carry what you enjoy. That's all there is to it. So we'll go ahead and leave it there. Hope you guys like this video. Again, I'm not being critical of it. I'm just explaining some of the flaws that I think it has. Now that's my opinion. You guys may not see that as a flaw, and that's super cool. I totally respect that. I think you're allowed to own whatever you want, and that's what's so neat, again, about the United States, is you can carry whatever the hell you want. This is a gun that I kind of like. I also kind of hate its guts at times. That's how I feel about this Beretta. I kind of like it. I also kind of hate its guts at times. There's a lot of stupid on them both. Why do I have a frame-mounted safety? Don't know. Why do I have a rear grip magazine release? Don't know. But I still enjoy it. Still a gun I like. Is it a love? Absolute love. Am I going to go to war with this gun? Nah, probably not. But am I going to continue to shoot it? Yeah, probably. It's kind of cute. In fact, I'm going to go ahead, because this will probably be back in a carry system. So I'm going to drop one of these in there. So dangerous. I'm going to reload that thing, and I'm probably going to carry it again, because it's just enjoyable to shoot. So I've let this run on too long, this outro. I'm just rambling now, so good luck, God bless. I will see you guys in the next review. Let me know if there's something you want me to review. Let me know if there's something you don't want me to review. Let me know if there's something you want me to test. If you have a favorite ammo, or there's something that you've always wanted to see that maybe you guys aren't able to get your hands on, I'd be more than happy to do it. I don't want you guys to think that this was a hypercritical review, because it wasn't. It's just kind of some here and there's. So I will see you guys in the next review. Thank you.